What up, GREERTV? I am J. Charles Greer. We are about to watch Prince, When Doves Cry. Now, this one in the 80s, man, it's like Prince was pretty much a god during his time. He released a little movie called Purple Rain. And, you know, again, I have a sister who's 5 years older than me. I might have been like 6 or 7 years old at the time. And with a 13-year-old sister, yeah, you couldn't help but know who Prince was. But he was the man, you know. But as a kid, I really didn't know too much about him up until this point. To me, he was just a weird dude who walked around in his drawers and a trench coat and played the guitar. I really didn't know much about him. But then I got into who he was, man, and just how cool he was. And so this was kind of like my introduction to knowing who Prince truly was. You know, I knew of him, but I didn't know who he was, and this is when I started to know about Prince. So this is When Doves Cry, all right? Again, up until this point, he just seemed really weird to me. You know, like the camera pans into him sitting in a bathtub and he stands up and just puts his hand out to the camera. That was the weirdest shit in the world to me.
Dig, if you will, the picture of you and I engaged in a kiss. The sweat of your body covers me. Can you, my darling, can you picture this? Ocean of violets in bloom. Animals strike curious poses.
And you realize, like, after you see the movie Purple Rain, you realize that these are a bunch of he used a lot of outtakes from the movie to put in the music video. Because, like, when you see the music video and you see the movie, you're like, well, wait a minute, when did this take place? You know, like, when did he ever kiss Apollonia on the floor? You know, if you know the movie, you're like, this doesn't make sense, but it's clearly footage from the movie, you know? So, but there's also this rumor that's out that there is actually a X-rated, not like explicit, but there's a more explicit version than what we've seen in Purple Rain. Now, we don't know if this is true or not, but I know that this rumor goes coast to coast, that there's actually a version of Purple Rain that's a little bit more risque, a little bit more sexy, shall we say, but we don't know that to be sure. But I don't know, knowing Prince, there's probably another version of Purple Rain out there somewhere.
Trembles inside. You got the butterflies all tied up. Don't make me chase you. Even doves have pride. Just leave me standing alone in a world.
I'm guessing that's Lake Minnetonka that he's standing in front of. It's a Purple Rain joke, but if you don't get it, then you don't get it.
Maybe I'm just too demanding. Maybe I'm just like my father, too bold. Maybe I'm just like my mother. She's never satisfied. Why do we scream at each other? This is what it sounds like when doves cry.
shout out to the Revolution, man. Wendy, Lisa, Brown Mark, Bobby Z, and Doctor, man. Shout out to everybody in his band, because just being a Prince fan, I've read books and different articles and things like that, and working for Prince was not easy, man. But a perfectionist demands perfection, and that's just how it is. But shout out to the Revolution, because they was tight, man. Like everything they did, and you're about to see it. Like everything Prince did, you were to be on point at all times. At any given time, you were to be on point. He demanded that, you know. Okay. This is the short version. What I meant by saying that they were always on point, there's a long version of this video where the Revolution and they're doing the dance steps and everything like that, but this is the short version, but still a dope video, man. I was always in love with Wendy. But I didn't know until years later that Wendy and Lisa were actually an item. They were a couple, so didn't realize that until much later. But I don't know how I didn't realize it before. Probably because I was a kid. I just didn't pick up on it. So when Doves Cry, 80's staple, GREERTV, like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you in the next video. All right?